Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your host, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Hey, today we are talking about Harlem Globetrotters in the spirit of Black History Month.
Yeah, buddy.
Hope y'all doing well. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. How are y'all doing? Good. I'm doing well myself.
Yeah. Good.
How's your Black History Month going? You say you celebrate it every day.
Person.
It don't matter. That's the point. It's for non-Black people.
True.
You know?
I feel like we learn about Black history all the time.
All the time. We always talk about it. That's where the inspiration came from.
But I think it's also really, I know there's like a lot of discourse about should there be a Black History Month?
Boy, they tripping.
Which is really
People
silly.
are tripping. You hear that?
Obviously, if some of you remember, we talked about when we did the Vivian Hirsch thing. I mentioned this last episode.
Yeah.
That Black History Month started here in Chicago.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, boy, if y'all don't know that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy if y'all don't know that by now.
I feel like it's not for me to speak whether it should or shouldn't exist, but from
Black History Month? Yes,
yeah.
it is. You can say, you could definitely be like, yeah, Black History Month should exist.
I mean, I think it should.
Yeah. So you that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. You can.
I was like, I'm also like, I'm with the sentiment of like, it's something that you should celebrate all the time. But I do think that having a dedicated month to revisit history and like where a lot more, emphasis is put on it is also important, because when you don't tell stories, they do get forgotten. And it's, I mean, there's a month for everything.
Yeah, it is.
So like there's Arab American Heritage Month, which nothing happens.
Right, of course, America ain't doing something for that. There's
obviously like Hispanic Heritage Month, Asian American Heritage, like all those. But
you know, not to cut you off, but this reminds me of a comment that we got in that section. Which, by the way, we'll get to Hot Take Tuesday, but Hot Take Tuesday went up this week.
It did.
But we got a comment about a guy who clearly listened to the episode and probably saw the video.
Because he commented on the YouTube video.
He commented on the YouTube video.
But it was something to do with the audio.
Yes, he DM'd us, Well, no, I'm sure, now that I think about it, I'm sure he just watched the video.
Okay.
He just watched the video because he said we were in the park, Mount Greenwood.
Oh.
So,
talk about a different one.
Yeah. So there was another one?
No, I was talking about the guy that commented on the YouTube video. It was something positive. That's what.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about the buddy. The reason why I bring it up, we talking about, different races and like honoring people. So clearly this dude took offense to us telling history about racism. It's clearly what the issue was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like we were in a park at Mount Greenwood.
Listen,
so if your takeaway is just that.
If the history bothers you,
you're right. That's what I'm saying.
It should.
It should bother you. But like,
if be upset.
You bothered in the wrong way. Just
Correct.
us reciting it. That's
You're annoyed that we mentioned that there was racism.
Yeah, and
that's not my fault.
And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that I didn't put that on all of current Mount Greenwood.
Correct.
We've never done that.
We hardly ever talk about current. I mean, sometimes we used to in the beginning. We would like say what the state of the.
I mean, we were going through the
neighborhood
community. Yes, yeah.
But like, what do you think racism doesn't exist?
Right. You think it stopped?
Let's.
You know what I mean? You think what happened to you?
What do you mean?
But what's crazy? The other thing is like you don't understand. The takeaway from Mount Greenwood is that it has Chicago's only farm still there. It's agriculture. Like how were you? Like how did you miss?
And people love to hyperfixate on the things that piss them off.
Right, and so when you look at a person, so when you look at we get comments like that. We haven't gotten comments like that in a little while. You know what I mean? Like but back in early days, you look at the people who are commenting. They got 3 followers. There's probably all family members, private profile, and no post. Boy, if you don't get your ass home, if you don't sit down and shut up, man, gonna tell me you're a great historian.
I think the people that get offended by the conversation about whether Chicago was a racist or remains to be a segregated / racist city are the people that actively participate on the negative end of that discussion.
Yeah, right. I mean, you got to
because in order, I've said this, I used to say this all the time. I was like, if you love a place, you criticize it, you want it to be better.
You have to.
You cannot turn a blind eye.
Right. To what happened.
To the reality of things.
Exactly.
You can't tell me driving from Gold Coast down to any like East Side,
South,
for example.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like you cannot, or like even
South of Roosevelt.
right? You cannot tell me that you don't visibly see the consequences of systemic racism. Like we have eyes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. You know what I mean? Come on now.
You can see it. You can see that there's this. I read this Block Club article that was talking about how this lady who lives in like Logan Square or something owns a bunch of empty buildings in one of the South Side neighborhoods, and she's owned them for decades and has left them to deteriorate.
Yeah.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because like you are actively adding and like you're participating in the deterioration of a neighborhood. Yeah. You're making it worse.
Yeah, it's crazy that people just whenever we get comments like that, it's like, come on now, bro. Like
yeah.
It is. We've never promoted that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just tell history. It is what it is.
And I also don't care if that history offends you.
Yeah,
you know
right. Don't care.
Like if you are offended by the racist behavior of people decades ago,
imagine how I feel today.
But that's just like I would sit with that thought.
Imagine how I feel today is what I'm saying. Like if you are offended by what has happened, imagine what I feel like going through, and you going through it today. Right. So if that offends you, that we are just retelling it, that means you've discredited what we're going through right now.
Yeah, but they're offended.
And people like us around.
They're offended not because it happened. They're offended because we're
telling it. Yeah, we're telling it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
one last piece on that. You know, we keep it light, we keep it friendly over here, but like this is educational.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? And I think it's really important for you to remember that we don't have management and we don't answer to nobody.
Yeah.
So if you come with the fuck shit, that is what you will receive in return. And this is not the page for you to be shitting on people.
Right. Right. We're not going there.
We're not. This is a conversation that is not happening. I'm not going back and forth with you.
Hot take.
I'm answering you.
It's not a hot take. That's a real take.
No, it's a very real take. Yeah. There's no room for you to shit on people here and be racist and misogynistic or none of that. None of that is happening here. So take that shit elsewhere. There's pages that will let you.
He didn't even comment back when I was like,
of course he's not going to comment back because he never thought you would comment to begin with.
He thought.
He thought his DM was going to go into the abyss.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all, that's the mood. That ain't the mood.
No, that's really not the mood.
I was just thinking about because this today's episode. Also, Hot Take Tuesday. Y'all send it up. To everybody that thought that Spider-Man is not
the greatest.
You're wrong. To the people that take more than 2 bites of a Reese, y'all different. Y'all just different, and I'm gonna stand on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stand on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, so I was inspired today's episode. I was inspired. Reason why we talking about athlete and kind of like it's Black History Month. Mm-hmm. We just had the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Don't know the results because we recording before that, but we got 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, which is a relatively new thing. Crazy, you know what I mean? Like not the first time, but relatively new.
That's wild.
Wild, right? So, kind of got me thinking about Chicago history and black athletes since we just, we fresh off of, the biggest sporting event in U.S. history. Yeah. I mean, in the U.S. Talking about the Harlem Globetrotters. Now, long story short, y'all know this originated in Chicago. Clearly, we talking about it.
Who the Harlem?
Yeah, let's talk about it then. So,
what
Harlem Globetrotters. We'll talk about it.
Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were founded in 1926 by Abe Saperstein, who was born in London. His family, born in London in 1902. His family moved him to Chicago in 1907. So he was 5 years old when he came to Chicago. He loved basketball, and he played at the YMCAs around town. YMCA was kind of founded black, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of a big deal, right? Yeah. But he loved basketball. He loved the team, integration. So when he was old enough, obviously 19 years old, you can see, the Harlem Globetrotters was started in 1926.
He started them.
He started them.
Is this a basketball team?
Yes, basketball. Yeah, he started them in 1926 as the Savoy Big Five.
Okay.
All black team, on the south side of Chicago.
Interesting.
At the Savoy Ballroom. Now, of course, we ain't gonna just leave you hanging with all these things because you probably like the Savoy Ballroom. What the fuck? I never heard of that. Savoy Ballroom was opened in 1927, which is crazy. You probably like, how did he find him in 26 and it was open 27 on Thanksgiving Eve, right? So I think I think that kind of throw people off a little bit. But it was opened, like I said, Thanksgiving Eve 1927, 4733 South Parkway Drive is where it was located.
Okay.
And the reason why that's significant is because you probably are like right now, Chicago doesn't have a Parkway Drive. But Parkway Drive, which used to be named, is now King Drive.
Oh.
And so that location right now is still the 4700 block of King Drive.
Do you know what's there?
And in its place, when the Savoy Ballroom was demolished in the 70s, it's now the site of the Harold Washington Cultural Center.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. And so back in its day.
That's a busy part of the street too.
There's
a lot of fun stuff happening down there.
A lot of stuff.
One of our favorite breakfast spots is like
across the street,
right there.
across the street, Peaches. So the Savoy Ballroom, what it was basically it's Bronzeville, y'all. So if you're not familiar with that area, it's Bronzeville through and through. Specifically, the jazz and music kind of district.
Yeah.
And a lot of music and jazz musicians, big heavy hitter names played at the Savoy Ballroom.
Right.
So music, dance, entertainment. They even had boxing events there.
I feel like boxing was super popular.
Yeah, they had boxing events there. And the Savoy, Savoy Big Five, the basketball team played there. Now, the reason why he started that is because he felt as if, black athletes need, something to do, right? He didn't try to do the savior complex, but because he's white. He's white.
English, yeah.
Jewish. So reason why he loved basketball, and I'm sure he played around black folks, and he was probably like, yeah, these dudes is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's organize something, not in a ownership type of way, but just like let's organize something for these folks on the South Side. Savoy Big Ballroom is already popping. Let's go. Let's do that right there. Did that, right? So they blew up. Now, I do want a quick note here. They're called Globetrotters because they just toured the Midwest, and I'm going to get into it. That's kind of what they did when they first started.
Interesting.
You call them the Harlem Globetrotters because of Harlem, New York.
Okay. What does that have to do with?
That was considered, in him, my hindsight, in that day, was considered like the black epicenter.
Yeah, fair,
yeah. Right? But think about it. We talking 1926, 27, and he's in Bronzeville.
Right. This is like the height of the Great Migration.
Black metropolis.
Yeah.
So all this research and all this stuff, when you hear something like that, the psyche of some people still didn't consider Chicago the epicenter for black.
Well, I feel like at this point, it's like, it's very significant, but we're still in the beginning of the story.
It is. I mean, but like, think about it. We are like,
no, in the 20s, you had a lot of.
We're like 10 years in now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we like 10 years in.
I guess maybe we should look into like how old Harlem is and how long did black people live in Harlem before they moved. You know what I mean?
And that's very fair. So some quick numbers here. Around when the Great Migration had started for pretty much the rest of the country, right around that 1912 time frame, 1916 time frame.
Right.
1912, New York had already had like 9 million blacks.
Right.
So not 9 million, but like a lot of blacks.
Yeah.
Already. So Harlem was
already an epicenter.
I just thought that was interesting to point out that
super interesting.
And they hadn't even been to Harlem.
I bet you for him, he thought this was a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like he was liking them with a place that he thought was like heavy on like black culture.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what this is the first thing. Literally,
I don't like to put words in people's mouths.
Yeah,
but if I'm looking at it, assuming that he had good intentions, that's what I would assume.
Yeah. Right. And I'm like, yeah, that's got to be the case. Right. But I just thought that was interesting. Chicago, Bronzeville, and he called them Harlem Globetrotters because of in Chicago. Some accounts also have that they were called Chicago Globetrotters. So we can go back and forth with that all we want to. Also in 1927, as part of their first road game, they played in Hinckley, Illinois. That was their first road game.
Okay.
1940. So in 1940 they continue, right? So from 27 to 40, they doing their thing. They blowing up. They moving. They they growing in population. Black kids doing their thing, playing basketball, absolutely dominating, right? In 1940. They won the World Professional Basketball Tournament. Now, to give you a little bit of history on that, that was the second year of the basketball tournament. I believe that went to 1943 to 46 or so, somewhere around that time. So 39 to 46 is when the tournament was held.
And it was annual.
And it was annual, right? The Globetrotters, Harlem Globetrotters won the second year.
Wow.
And it started in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was the World Championship game that started in Chicago. And guess who they beat?
Who?
They beat the Chicago Bruins, who, fun fact, y'all, was Chicago's first basketball team. They were part of the American Basketball League up until 1939. And then later on that year, they joined the NBL, which is today's NBA. They were owned by George Halas of the Chicago Bears.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Shout out to Chicago Bears. Condolences to Virginia McCaskey, the daughter of George Halas. Yeah. She passed away recently here in Chicago.
I didn't realize that he was the first owner of the Bears. He started the NFL. We need to do an episode on the Bears.
We will. We
I didn't realize that she's only like I was her dad.
Yeah, that was her dad.
That feels like it would have happened so long ago that we're now 2, 3, 4 generations down.
Yeah, she was 102 years old. Yeah, that's it's crazy to when you think about all that. It's another crazy thing about the right, the ABL. Now the ABL, they started the 3-point line. You hear me?
Wow.
They started the 3-point line. And something that we don't talk about with the ABL is that the ABL was run by a bunch of NFL owners. So for example, the Chicago Bears had a quarterback that also played for the Chicago Bruins.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So, I could keep on going with this history because there's some crazy stuff. They started the 3-point. They widened the free throw lane so that it wasn't 12 foot, it was 18 foot. So they made that bigger. And when you think about it, George Halas was the founder of NFL.
Right.
Kind of had a big hand in the ABL basketball. We don't talk about it enough.
But also, didn't Spalding was here?
So here's the thing. I was thinking about that too. I was like, maybe they were playing with Spalding basketballs.
Yeah.
This is a whole bunch of connections.
You know what? This would be a good deep dive for my agenda to further the proof that without Chicago you wouldn't be shit.
would be nothing.
And do an episode on how much did Chicago bring to sports? In general.
Well, here's the. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna cut you off right there because let me finish. This shit is wild, man. Black History Month. This is why we need Black History Month. So, continuing back with them, right around the 40s, they added comedy now because
comedy.
Yeah, think about it. So you've never been to a Harlem Globetrotter game?
No, I've not.
There's a bunch of silliness now.
Are they still around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
We'll get to it. Yeah. So Globetrotter games are we know it now. When you go there, they laugh, they joke, they throw the ball, they have a ball on a string, they pull shorts down, the comedy. Well,
it's not a real basketball game.
Now, it's not.
Yeah.
But back in the day, they were going around beating people, beating them so bad they had to add a little comedy because like they were the Globetrotters. They were good, they were really good, and they were just beating people. Okay, so and the reason why they had to add the comedy is because it was like otherwise this shit is boring. Why do we want to keep on coming to
getting our ass beat?
Yeah, other teams just be like, you know what I mean? Like, so they had to make it entertaining for people to come see them. They're not a part of anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not a part of anything. They're just traveling team.
Yeah.
Abe has just got these guys going around, winning playing basketball, having fun, right? The reason why I say that is because they were just beating up on white teams. Now, segregation, I'm not saying that these are they were just pointing out white teams, but the NBA, ABL was segregated. Blacks couldn't play in that league. And if the NBA was like that, these small ass towns and teams where they were going weren't letting black people play on the same team.
NBA.
Yeah, the NBA was segregated. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, all these teams.
You said ABL.
ABL and NBA were segregated because at this time, the NBA hadn't bought the ABL yet.
I gotcha.
I'm going to get to that again. I'm going to get to that. So 1948, something crazy happened. Abe was like, well, why don't we take the best team, Harlem Globetrotters, and play the NBA's best team? They played
Did he create conferences?
No.
Oh.
He played the Minneapolis Lakers back when they were in Minneapolis. The town of 10,000 lakes. Yeah. And he played them.
Is that why they're called the Lakers?
Yeah. Yep. Fun fact.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And so they played Minneapolis Lakers. The game was played at the old Chicago Stadium, which was across the street from today.
Demolished?
Yep, which was across the street from
the Stockyards?
No, the current.
From United.
United Center.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Stockyards.
No. Yeah. It was at this one. Now, the Lakers were on a 102 game win streak.
Damn.
Bunch of white dudes.
Okay.
One white dude by the name of George Mikan, who was from Joliet, Illinois, is considered to be like the first major player in NBA history. He created he was doing underhand shots, he was doing hook shots. They made the rule for the stop clock violation. Okay. So
because he was taking shot too long,
and he was big. He was a giant. He was the first big man. They created goaltending because of him.
What does that mean?
So you can't knock the ball when the ball is on the way down. Yeah. You can't slap the ball out. They stopped it. He was big. He was just doing anything he wanted to. So George Mikan was on this Lakers team that had won 102 games. Reason why I bring him up is because he was on Chicago's. He started on Chicago's basketball team and then went and played for the Lakers.
Oh wow!
So I'm just setting the scene here. The Globetrotters, we know they were dominant. So you got two powerhouses. Right. His friend was the coach. Abe's friend was the coach of the Lakers. So they were like, "Hey man, let's put this shit to bed. What you trying to do? What you trying to do, man? Let's put this to bed. Your white guys versus my black guys." That's what it was at the Chicago Stadium. Long story short, the Globetrotters won.
Did they?
On a last-second buzzer beater.
Wow.
By 2 points. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. They played again 2 years later.
Okay. Did they win again?
Globetrotters beat them again.
Oh, my God.
Globetrotters beat them again.
Wow.
By 5 this time.
Wow.
So now you know all that. Black guys that beat the white guys. That's the story.
Yeah.
NBA was segregated and was like, nah, man. People were pushing for him. Jesse Owens, who had just went to the Olympics and he protested, right fist in air. Y'all look that up, do that research. He, obviously, another Chicago piece, you know what I mean? Like, he was like, already like, man, look, we ain't let black athletes in. So now you got a lot of this tension. And now you just had two teams, black and white, as plain as day, battling it out. And we just beat y'all crown jewel.
Damn.
Guess what happened?
What?
Desegregation.
Really?
Yeah. After that, they were like, you know what? Maybe
They
we
said-
should
they
put
said
these
maybe-
black.
Yeah. How do we make more money?
How do we make more money? Put these black guys on the team. And so that's exactly what it did. It accelerated the process for the NBA to integrate. And so that's what happened. Here is another fantastic fact that we don't talk about. It was a guy by the name of Nathaniel Sweetwater Clifton,
Okay.
who was playing in Chicago. He wasn't from Chicago, but he played here for a long time. He went to school here, yada yada yada. He's a Chicagoan by association. He became the first black player to sign an NBA contract.
Wow.
And he did it in 1950 with the New York Knicks. Chicago.
Not the New York Knicks.
I know, but Chicago had the
Wow.
first integrated player
That's wild.
join the NBA.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
yes. Now, here's the other cool thing. They're called Globetrotters, right? And so
Did they start traveling the world or not yet?
1950, that same year, they went on their first world tour. That
Wow.
same year. And I stopped that because the rest is history. They did so many other historic things with big names and things like that. I think today I read from their website, they have reached 148 million fans worldwide. They've traveled and
wanna
played
go
in
to a game
100
now.
countries.
Where
Yeah.
are they now?
Well, if you want to see, you could go to the website. They travel all over the place. And like you said, to kind of your point, it's a little bit more comedy now because they become sensations. But they have the best players. Don't want to take anything away. One of the, they have a lot of ladies on the team now. And ladies back in the day, obviously, ladies still to this day, have a hard time breaking even with men.
Right.
One of the players, I believe her name was Lynn, I don't know the last name, paved the way for the WNBA.
Really?
Yeah. Also, here's a crazy thing. While they were on tour in Berlin at one point, Wilt Chamberlain, who is considered by most one of the greatest players, I mean, it's crazy saying that, but he should be one of the greatest players of all time. He played a full season with the Globetrotters, when they were in Berlin doing their Berlin tour, and then continue with the NBA.
Wow. That's wild.
Y'all. So more history, black history here on the south side of Chicago. And not just, if we want to broaden it out, not just black history, bro. We helped change the NBA. So
Listen.
there you go. Chicago, stand up, you win again.
And the agenda continues.
And the agenda continues, y'all.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, right?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like sports. I like basketball. If
Yeah.
I were to pick my favorite sport, it might be basketball.
Yeah.
And then football. And then probably,
Baseball.
Baseball is just like long and slow.
It is.
That's what it is. It's hard. I like watching it. I like going to a game, but
Yes.
I could never sit at home and watch a baseball game.
It is hard to do. Baseball is one of those things.
not
I'm probably going to do it more because we got the TV in the office now.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm probably going to
Yeah.
have it on. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
part of the reason
it's
is
just
we
like
move
not
around.
engaging.
I mean, it's hard to capture that on TV because
Yeah.
it's so slower paced.
So slow.
Playoffs are different because it's man, look, we can start up a whole new episode, but I'm one of the people that say, hey, to watch baseball, you have to be locked in with the batter pitcher interaction. That's where the game is watched, right?
Yeah.
Because if when you're at home, it just looks slow if you don't have no direction.
Right.
It's all about the batter pitcher and understanding
Yeah.
what pitch is next and what they might do and this kind of thing. Once you get that, you're good.
I think baseball is more fun to watch in person.
I
think like that is the experience.
Well, it's a vibe. Yes, it's an experience. It's a different vibe. You know what I mean? Like most times you go in there with a group of friends, maybe even if it's just you and your partner.
The Cubs need to cut those prices in half, though, at least. Because what are we doing? I mean, $70 for like a Cubs ticket is crazy.
That's because they were America's team at one point.
Yeah, but they're
still America's team.
They have too many games for them to all be that expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
but
they just need to be like $35
until they stop selling them.
I guess
that's the same thing with the Bears. Bears, y'all got no reason.
I know, absolutely no.
You know what?
reason
I don't want to ruin the opportunity
for them to be like $900 a ticket for what?
Win me a Super Bowl. Then we can talk.
Or at least let me see Simone Biles.
You said.
I'll pay $900. No, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't. Prove to me that you're worth it.
yeah. Okay, I'm done though.
Okay, good. If you enjoyed this episode, please send it to someone you love. That's the best way to support us. You know that already, but you don't be doing it. So I don't know.
She had to slide that in there.
If you did not enjoy this episode, that's all right. Check back Monday for a little throwback, or check back Thursday for a throwback, or Monday for a brand new episode. We'll see you then. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.